In the name of Allah, the most compassionate, the most merciful, and may the peace and blessings of Allah be upon His last and beloved Messenger Muhammad, and may the peace and blessings of Allah be upon you all. The title of this presentation is, What is the sign in water? This is a great sign in the Quran, which we can learn by pondering upon verse number 30 of chapter 21 of the Quran, which reads, Have not those who disbelieve known that the heavens and the earth were joined together as one united piece, one weaved tapestry? Then Allah God tore them apart, and Allah God has made from water every living thing. Will they not then believe? So we notice from this Quranic verse that Allah God Almighty begins the verse with a description of a person who disbelieves in Allah God and ends it with the word of belief. So for a status of a person to change from that of disbelief to that of belief, then there should be a great sign between the beginning and end of the verse. And part of this sign can be found in the statement of Allah God, which says, And Allah God has made from water every living thing. Thus the question now is about the great sign in water. We can know this sign by pondering upon the statement of Allah God that He has made from water every living thing. And the meaning of made is the transformation of one image into another, as explained in the following example. If we say that I made water into ice, then this means that the image of liquid water is changed into the image of ice. Here we have liquid water changed into ice. So likewise, the statement of Allah God that He has made from water every living thing means that all creatures essentially water in different images, which necessitates that every creature has the same design and material of water. And this is the sign in the statement of Allah God Almighty that He has made from water every living thing. It's a great sign from the Creator. So this is a great sign of Allah God, which shows that He created everything from a single source, which is water. Thus, this sign shows a scientific proof to the oneness of Allah God, in the fact that since all the diversity in creation is made from one source, then all of this creation is created by one Creator, Allah God Almighty. So, we will see now by examples how Allah God has made from water every living thing, essentially meaning that all creatures are basically water in different shapes, different forms. So let's expound this further. Let's take the structural design of water and creation. Here we have the structural design of water when it's in ice. So we see that Allah God Almighty arranged the atoms in water in hexagonal pattern, geometrical shape having 6 sides. This is the shape. Now if we look at creatures, we see that Allah God Almighty created all creatures with the same hexagonal design of water, as shown in these examples. For example, the example of beehives and the eyes of insects. So we see here an example of a beehive. It has the same hexagonal design of ice water, and here we see the eyes of insects, which has the same hexagonal design. So basically, bees, the eyes of insects, our bodies, it's just water in different forms, different shapes. Let's apply this again to energy. So here we have that Allah the Almighty created water such that energy within it propagates from its source with concentric spheres. For example, if you have the source here, source of energy, the energy in water propagates with concentric spheres. And the primary mechanism of energy propagation in water is waves, such that energy is stored in water molecules as potential energy. Then this energy is released as kinetic energy, causing the movement of water molecules. So the primary mechanism of energy transfer in water by waves. So since Allah God Almighty created all of this universe based on water, so this means that energy in the universe should follow the energy mechanisms in water. And this is exactly what we see. For example, Allah God Almighty created all creatures such that energy within them propagates with concentric spheres, exactly like water. An example of this is the propagation of light energy from its source. So we see that light energy in the universe propagates with concentric circles, like water exactly. Also, Allah Almighty created creatures and creations such that all energy propagates as waves, like water waves. For example, a light wave, we see that energy propagates exactly like water waves. Our brain waves, they have the same shape as water waves. So this shows, brothers and sisters, a great sign of Allah Almighty, that all of this universe around us, Allah created from water. Like water is the blueprint of creation. And again, this shows a scientific sign to the oneness of Allah Almighty, that since all of these creatures Allah created from a single source, this means that all of this universe, with all its diversity, has one creator, Allah Almighty. And to know more details about this topic, please visit my website at www.quran-miracle.com, and may the peace and blessings of Allah be upon you all.